Well, hello there. How you guys doing? Um, I had a very late night. So I'm up early. Can't sleep for much in the daytime, so you know how that goes. But we are here nonetheless with some reading. I just have something that I'm obviously trying to finish up before we start it. Um, but yeah, today is Sunday, so it is a very good day. You know, we got the One Piece chapter, the official, coming out. You know, we gotta support the scams, but gotta support the official too. Feel me? Go make sure you go get that Show on the Jump app. Gotta get that official. Um, yeah. So that's a thing. But other than that, I guess we'll just do a reading and we'll check out the chapter, see if there's any variations between the scans and the official. If there's not, then you know it is what it is. But if there is, then it'll be really interesting to see where it is because from what we've seen of this chapter, I really love the Kaido dialogue. Like I really love it. Like Kaido is, he gives me Thanos vibes. You know, like ultimate. I know what's going on. Like you have no idea. The world is bigger than you think. Like those type of vibes. Like, and I love it. I really do. I really do. It's super cool to me. But yeah, bear with me, and I'll be right back. Gonna be starting soon. Bear with me. Just finishing up this little educational educational tool, we shall call it. Bear with me 1 second. Get right with you. Also, very excited for this chapter because, you know, like I said, the dialogue is going to be quite lit from the duck dragon god that is Kaido. Shout out my boy Tekken because Tekken definitely. I mean, granted, I don't know him personally, but you know. Anyway, let's get this show on the road. All right, we got chapter 2 of the Ace light novel, raring and ready to go. Okay, turning the page, chapter 2, section 1. Let us begin. Deep sea currents, the water that hits the red line and sinks down to the seafloor, is said to take a whole 2,000 years to reach the depths of the surface again. Monsters, curses, souls of the dead. The sea is greater than the lifespan of a human being, country, tradition, or any other artifact of human civilization. It's an object of fear and awe. Once through the seafloor cavern, I just realized I don't have my headphones in, so the audio is probably atrocious. Wow. Bear with me 1 second. Let me pop these bad boys in real quick. Bear with me. Let's get this connected via Bluetooth. Technology is such a given these days, you know. Ba-dum-bum. Ba-dum-bum. Okay, what do we got? Okay, hopefully the audio is much clearer now as opposed to a couple seconds ago. All right, so let's get back to this. Let's take it from the top. Excuse me. So, deep sea currents. The water that hits the red line and sinks down to the seafloor is said to take a whole 2,000 years to reach the depths and surface again. Monsters, curses, souls of the dead. The sea is greater than the lifespan of any human being, country, tradition, or any other artifact of human civilization. It's an object of fear and awe. Once through the seafloor cavern near Fishman Island, you're on the second half of the world. From there, you grab the rising currents to take you upward. from the abyssal depths to where the light trickles down. Above a depth of 1,000 meters, the near freezing water undergoes a dramatic transformation. Once in the sea layers, where temperatures rise and light penetrates, when the sailors see the direct light of the sun through the sudsy layer of the ship's coating, they realize that they're about to be freed from the ever-present cage of silent, deadly water pressure. With that rush comes a sense of what drove them to the adventure known as the sea in the first place. A yearning for and fear of the unknown. A combined and irresistible and indiscriminable exhilaration. That is the light that leads to the new world. And the majority of pirates who survive the 70% failure rate of the Fishman Island trip find themselves shouting something else shortly after they reach into the new world. I don't want to die! Let's go back to paradise! A Jolly Roger consisting of a flaming skull with goggles over a spade symbol, the piece of the spadille, had made the trip up from the 10,000 meter under the sea. Through the base of the red line, I want to eat seaweed brulee, seaweed tarts, seaweed souffle. Are you guys men or not? Ace was annoyed at how nostalgic the crew members were for the frilly girly mermaid cafe, as a pungent stew of deep sea fish bubbled before them. Yeah, I wouldn't want that either, I'm not gonna lie to you. You don't know, Captain Ace. You weren't there. The singing voices of the mermaid, the delicate flavors. Take a hint from Kotatsu. Meow? Kotatsu had been given one of the deep sea fish heads, and he was crunching down on it, bones and all. Whose flame do you think is cooking this stew anyway? It's all thanks to you, of course, Captain. We're sorry, Captain. Thank you, Captain. A huge cast iron pot was bubbling away in the middle of the piece of the Spayadilis mess hall. Firewood was a valuable resource on the ship, and also a potential fire hazard, so you had to be very careful with it on a normal ship. The Spade Pirates, naturally, were different. Having a captain with the flame fruit helped in that regard. He could simply adjust the fire strength to that which was needed to help cook. I don't care if it looks like cat food. It's a blessing just to get a hot meal while you're out at sea. That's not a compliment, Ace. I'm sorry, ma'am, he said to Banshee. She clanged two ladles together menacingly, and the crew all went back to poking at their stew, murmuring insincerely about how delicious it was. About our earlier topic, Ace, Deuce muttered under his breath. What was that? I was asking you if you were serious about meeting with him too, but Deuce didn't even finish the sentence before the lookout burst into the mess hall. Captain, enemy ships. All right. Ace shot to his feet as if he'd been hoping this would happen. The others blew on their bowls of stew and began shoveling it in, making sure they didn't miss out on a meal. As ungrateful as they were, you would think that they wouldn't have even eaten it, but it's like at the same time you're at sea, you feel me? Like you really never know when you're gonna get a meal again. Like, damn, yo, all of that just hints more at Sanji's backstory and how important like him and Zeph's relationship really was. Like Zeph really saved this guy's life. Like, oh my god, through and through, man, through and through. Okay, listen up, boys. Forget about the underlings. Look for the real prize. A cook to recruit to our crew. Yo, I was not expecting that. All right, okay. Yeah! Cheered the Spade Pirates. On the horizon, lightning was raining down on a distant island. Aha! Forgive me, just have to light something. But so that lets us know that they are currently by Raijin Island. And if you guys remember, that is the route, or rather that is the island in which not only did Gold Roger visit, but Luffy wanted to visit, and not to mention the fact that this is the island right before Punk Hazard. So this should be interesting to see where the story goes from here, since we know the current placement. Hence why they actually like pointed it out in its own line. It was still midday, but the area was choked with dark clouds. Even on the Grand Line, the New World was above and beyond the norm. Volcanic rocks fell from the sky. Hurricanes, with several times their usual energy, were utterly destructive. Simply sailing a ship here was taking your life into your own hands. Give us a break. We're just trying to get out of here, sobbed the man wearing a captain's hat slumped on the ground before Ace. And you didn't bother to check our pirate flag first? Did you realize you were attacking the Spade Pirates? Deuce asked the captain Steed. Or Stead? Not really sure. Whichever way you prefer. We didn't know. We just wanted to take your ship. They got nothing, Captain Ace, said Skull. I don't know why I read it all the way through just like that. They got nothing, Captain Ace, said Skull, returning to the deck. Their hold's empty. Not surprised. What's with the pirate ships in the New World? They're all cheapskates, Ace grumbled. And it didn't look like he was getting his cook. This ship's falling apart. It's a wonder it's still floating. We can't even dismantle it for anything good more than scrap wood. It was the third time the Spade Pirates had been attacked since entering the New World, but for some reason, all of their enemies were in tatters before the fight even started. We were just trying to take your ship to escape. We want to go back to paradise. Come on, do us a solid. All of them wanted to return to paradise, back to the first half of the Grand Line, where they'd enjoyed reasonable prestige as pirates. Fine. I've heard enough of you, gentlemen. I've got no more use for you. Ace made a gun gesture with his fingers. Hey, pal, what do you say? We could be your underlings. Let us ride on your ship. And take my advice. Turn back now. Trust me, you'll want to. Boom. A ball of fire shot from Ace's extended fingertip. It burst through the enemy's flag and burned it to a crisp in seconds. Sorry, I'm not interested in your flag, he said, and gave his crew the order to withdraw. This is normal on the seas of the New World, apparently, muttered Deuce. The strongest rule, the ruled survive, and the weak who resist lose everything and have to flee. Sounds neat. To get back to what we were talking about earlier, are you serious about going to meet the 4 emperors, Ace? Have I ever joked about something like that? It's too soon. I mean, speaking of red-haired Shanks... Whoa. Hold the phone. Hold up. Give me 1 second, guys. Hold up. They said red-haired Shanks. You know Shanks is the God King. Oh, man. Shout out to the Red Force Podcast. Shanks is the God King. Hold up now. Hold up. We getting spicy, guys. We getting spicy. Let me turn the car on. Stop playing with me, baby. Oh, why? Playing with me like that. You know we live. Okay. So back we go. Sounds neat. Oh, wait. Red-haired Shanks. Red-haired Shanks was practically synonymous with the great age of piracy. People spoke of his days of duels with Hawkeye's Mihawk, the greatest swordsman in the world. Even though he was missing an arm, he was considered one of the 4 emperors, alongside Edward Whitebeard Newgate, Charlotte Big Mom Linlin, and King of the Beasts Kaido. The government sources say the following about him. If you make red-haired Shanks angry, he's frightening. On that note, if you broke the laws of the proper courtesy, Whitebeard was frightening. If you fouled Big Mom's mood, she was frightening. Kaido's existence all on its own was frightening. Yo. I'm not even gonna lie, that's a fact though. Like, we talking about Kaido, Yonko Kaido. Stop playing. Like, hold the fuck up. How could you not be scared of his very presence? Like, come on now. Like, he pop up to a party, bro, party is done. Like, it's over, all right? Everybody go home. We don't want to start calling the cops or nothing. Just go home of your own volition. Wow. Yo, that's crazy. I've heard rumors that Red Hair was actually on the Pirate King's crew. At the time, Whitebeard and Big Mom were already powerful pirates, with Red Hair and Kaido and the generations coming up after them. Shanks was a sailor on Gold Roger's ship, the Oral Jackson, where he served under the king of the pirates directly. There's a story, said Ace, going back to just before Red-Haired lost his arm in the East Blue. A younger Shanks spent some time based near a little village in the distant sea. One day there was some trouble at the bar with a mountain bandit. The bandit leader mocked him, saying pirates were scum, and dumped his bottle over Red-Hair's head. What do you suppose he did, Deuce? I'd bet that bandit is no longer alive. You'd be wrong. Red-Hair just laughed it off and apologized for the trouble. Are you serious? But that wasn't the end of the trouble. A boy from the village whom Shanks had befriended got kidnapped by the got kidnapped by the bandits. The kid wanted to be a pirate more than anything, and seeing pirates look weak made him furious, so he went to pick a fight with the bandits. When they heard that the bandits had kidnapped the kid and hurt him, Red-Hair and his crew went and crushed the bandits. He said to them, "You can pour drinks on me, throw food at me, even spit on me, and I'll just laugh that stuff off. But whether there's good reason or not, nobody hurts a friend of mine." Where'd you get this story, boss? Even I have never heard this one. Have you met Red-Hair before, Ace? Deuce was from the East Blue, and that was where he'd met Ace. But that wasn't all. Ace's father was none other than the king of the pirates, Gold Roger. But Deuce was about the only person on the crew who knew that. If Red-Hair was indeed a member of the legendary crew, then Ace would represent a link to Shanks' old captain, in fact. Nope, said Ace, shaking his head. I've never met him, but I want to. I'm not interested in the Pirate King. This guy grew up in the great age of piracy with a front row seat to history and clawed his way up to the top, becoming one of the 4 emperors. I want to know what drove Red-Hair to do this. Maybe he could figure something out, something that would put the Spade Pirates flagship over Fishman Island, that place where all pirates and sailors pass through. I know you don't just have to say these things without thinking, but we're all talking about an emperor of the sea. It's almost impossible to meet these people face to face. Everything was different with the pirates of the New World. First off, the scale was different. In Whitebeard's case, Edward Newgate was a father figure to over 10 commanders who served directly under him, along with their crew members. That alone was a huge force of over 1,000 combatants, but in addition to that were dozens of affiliated pirate crews with a total manpower in the tens of thousands, and vast territorial holdings. The pirating business they maintained in that territory maintained the Momentum pirate fleet. From legitimate avenues like trade, port workers, and vendors of food and drink, to casinos, gambling, and show business, security of all kinds, weapon smuggling, and even mercenary dispatches to distant wars. Every kind of economic activity within the Emperor's waters was closely related to the funds of the pirate in charge. Just a protection racket of having an Emperor's flag on your territory could cost you in the hundreds of millions, if not more. What in the hell? Are you serious? No wonder Big Mom was on some bullshit. Boy, hold up. Because that's hella candy Luffy was fucking with back then. Boy, hold up. Let me get some water. That's intense. Oh, yeah. Luffy bold for that one. I ain't gonna hold you. I am not gonna hold you. The first thing any new pirate did when they got to the stretch of sea was to pay their respects to one of the 4 emperors. After this, one could join their operation and be safe, usually. Ace, we're not flying any of the 4 emperors' flags right now. Whatever your intentions are, once they come after us, there's nothing we can do to survive. Did you figure out where Red-Haired is, Skull? Ace, are you listening to me? Oh, I know where Red-Hair Shanks is, piped up the enemy pirate captain. Red-Hair is harder to pin down than the 4 emperors. Hold up, let's run that back. Red-Hair's harder to pin down than the other emperors. Lately, there have been rumors that he's been based out of a certain island. The captain then dropped the name of this place. You better not be playing games with us. Hang on, Master Do. The Winter Island was among the many names in my intel, claimed Skull. Go on then. Go there and get yourselves killed. Red-Hair's not the kind of man who cares much about others. He's kind to his friends and merciless to strangers. He's not going to give a lick of attention to a snot-nosed punk of a rookie No manners like you. The defeated captain, the defeated captain's words hung in the air like a menacing curse. Wish I read that a lot smoother. Yeah, let's go back. The defeated captain's words hung in the air like a menacing curse. I still messed up menacing curse. All right, let's get past that. Um, the islands of the Grand Line, each corresponding to spring, summer, winter, fall, and each type. Okay, whatever, has 4 seasons, meaning that they are technically 16 seasons in all. I get it. Summer on a summer island is the hottest. Winter on a winter island is the coldest. Spring on a spring island has the greatest blooming of life. And fall on a fall island boasts the most brilliant colors of all. The red line, in fact, just a great amalgamation of all these seasonal islands. Wait, what? What do you mean? Hold on, wait. The red line is in fact just a great amalgamation of all these seasonal islands. The season will change depending on which island you visit, regardless of latitude. Flying over the cave on this winter island was the Jolly Roger of a skull with 3 slashes, the symbol of the pirate red-haired Shanks. It's a warm one today. Sleet outside. That's rare. If it was warm enough to melt snow falling on this winter island, the day was warm indeed. The red-haired captain was the only one who made that observation, and it was his first mate, Ben Beckman, who answered about the sleep. That's like so rare, like just to have a moment like that. Like, I mean, I guess it's not canon, right? But still, like, it's Shanks and Beckman having a moment. Like, it's cool, you know? It's Ben Beckman who answered about the sleep. Days like this are usually when bad stuff happens. Munch, gulp. I guess. Come on, don't start talking like that. You're usually right on the money about these hunches," said a man with dreadlocks responding to the round face lucky-roux. Oh, hold up. They gave lucky-roux dreadlocks? Whoa, 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 whoa. Is that going to be canon? Because we know Yasop has dreads. Wait, what? What's going on here? Okay. Let's get back. Who chopped down on a huge hunk of meat on the bone like it was a little snack. Okay, obviously that's lucky-roux, because that was our introduction to him in the canon of the story. Like some big burly guy who eats Wild Paul's meat and just shoots people in the face. Like, that was like one of the coolest intros that we've ever seen. Like, next to Kaido, like that was top 5. Next to Kaido was top 5. People often imagine the 4 emperors living in palatial estates with every possible luxury at their disposal. Some were like that, of course. Charlotte Linden, the leader of the Big Mom Pirates, was a crafty old pirate whose family consisted of 43 husbands, 46 sons, and 39 daughters. All 129 of them and their spouses ruled over a stretch of sea called Totoland. And Big Mom herself lived on Whole Cake Island with all the sweets she could ever want to eat. But Shanks traveled on a diminutive, dragon-headed ship called the Red Force with a small elite crew moving from place to place. If you really think about that, though, like, what matters more, quantity or quality? Damn. It was time to prepare for the evening meal, and when the pirate feast was starting, with the serving of food they procured in the day's hunt, things suddenly got much noisier outside the cave. The fire that the crew was sitting around abruptly blazed much brighter, as though they'd stoked the logs. Well, sorry for interrupting your party. I was lured here by a delicious smell. It was a young man. He wore a cape around his shoulders and shorts around his waist. Could he really have come all the way to the cave in the midst of so much snow? Obviously, this is Ace. Boy got the flame fruit. He good, he good. And somehow there wasn't a single snowflake of snow on his body. Bingo. That's our indication right there. Were you the one making all that noise? The red-haired officers all remained seated, as though they had already known someone was coming. I know that guy. He's Firefist, the one who spurned the 7 warlords. Sorry, Chief. He just showed up, and he wanted to pay his respects. Said they'd look out a new guy as he rushed into the cave a few moments later. Pay respects? To me? Shanks fed on another log into the fire. Fed another log into the fire. It flickered momentarily and then returned to its previous strength. Hockey. It was a threat, but the young man took it head on. He wasn't so weak that it would be enough to knock him over. No, I didn't mean it that way, said the young man. Firefist Ace. It's just an introduction. Pardon me, sir. I just wanted to introduce myself. It's an honor to make your acquaintance. Okay, hold up a second. Hold up. Wait a minute. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, so from what we have read here, right? I'm gonna say, well, since I'm actually not partaking in any activities, we'll say, I can look at you guys. From what we see here, it's pretty clear that Ace didn't fall to a Conqueror's hockey wave from Shanks. I didn't expect Shanks to do that. That's I mean, it makes sense though, because it's like, bro, I don't even know who you are. Like, you just stepping to me like this, back up. Like, but it's not like I'm gonna say something. I'm just gonna do something that if you're not strong enough, you won't be able to make me respect you. So in a sense, I get it. Like, that's actually pretty cool. Like, that's like very, very cool. That's wow. All right. But I like how they made it like a single line, like a single hockey. Like, can you? Okay, obviously you can't see it because, yeah. Can you? Whatever. Okay. Excuse me. Hockey. It was a threat. I read that part already. It's an honor to make your acquaintance, sir, said Ace all of a sudden. He extended his hand, palm upward, in a sign of respect. Shanks tilted his head in confusion at this unexpected act. He looked at his other officers. They were either frowning or laughing or watching with entertained looks on their faces. In that case, I return your greeting, said Shanks. He, too, extended an upward palm. This was a formal exchange in the underworld, an indication that each side would remain humble towards the other, without trickery. It was part of the old ways, the pirate code derived from the traditions of gamblers and yakuza and the like. But it was very old-fashioned indeed. You didn't see many observe these formalities anymore. I am of birth. I'm sorry. I just read it and it's like, is he trying to tell Shanks he's Roger's kid in a roundabout way, not directly? Because if that's the case, then does he not trust Shanks? If that's the case, then why even meet him? I don't know. That's a bit odd. That's a bit odd, to be honest with you. That part I don't understand. Okay. Let me just read it all the way through. I am of birth of Batarilla, South Blue. I was raised in the East Blue. My name is Ace. Though I am newly started on this path in life, I am known as the Fire Fist by the world at large. My humble bounty is, how much is it again? The hell should I know? This guy can barely get his words out straight, teased the others around the fire. For I am such a simple country boy, I have committed some errors of the tongue. I pleaded... What? Bro, you trying to be fancy. It's just Shanks, bro. Like, it's gang. Like, chill. I pledify for your generous forgification. All right, boys, time to introduce the man of the hour. Are you talking to your crew? Where are they? Ben Beckman asked. Ace spun around. There were no other members of the Spade Pirates behind him. Oh, right, it's just me. I didn't want to bother you with the whole gang, he said. You got a lot of nerve, you know that? So what's this show all about, huh? Asked Shanks. Looking at Ace with his little smirk he so often wore, I don't know why I read it like that. His hand rested on the pommel of his sword. Any uninvited guest who would cause trouble here was likely to get himself sliced in two. Ace started over, then scratched his head, deciding that it wasn't going to work after all. Dang it, I practiced it exactly the way Makino showed me. I figured he was just trying to have manners. He was trying to be respectful because the dude, the pirate captain he just beat said he ain't had no manners. He was trying to think ahead. Big brain move. Just like Makino showed me. I'm just not good at that stuff. Makino? The officers and Shanks wore puzzled looks because they know her. Gang. Connections. Woo! Connections. Makino? The officers and Shanks wore puzzled looks. Ace reached for his bag and pulled something out. A bottle? This is a fine libation from the East Blue where I grew up. Makino told me this is how pirates offer a proper greeting. Shanks reached out and accepted the large jug of alcohol from Ace. He pulled out the cork and took a whiff. Ah, that's a familiar scent. Brings back memory of the distant grog. The pirates excitedly began to pass around the jugs and take swigs from it. The fact that they drank seemed to be a sign that they weren't going to slice them up right away, at least. Did you know that I spent some time in the East Blue years ago? Yes, I heard. I live near Windmills Village. Do you know Mount Corvo? I was raised by some bandits who lived there. Windmill Village? Well, that takes me back. How's the mayor doing? So this booze is from Makino, eh? No, actually, I bought it from a liquor store in Rogue Town before I got into the Grand Line. So I just did all that reminiscing for nothing? Like, now you kind of pissed me off, kid. What the fuck, yo? He said, well, I did get some from Makino when I first set sail, but then I shipwrecked and washed up on a deserted island. Sixes. You know, stuff happens. You mean stuff that's so stereotypical for rookie pirates that it never actually happens? Snapped one of the pirates. Why they playing him like that, though? Like, I can't even say nothing. He got bad luck sometimes. Like, he had bad luck. He got the flame fruit. Everything got better for the most part, I guess, right? Let me see. I'm getting so embarrassed for him just listening to this, joked another, recalling his own youth. What if Makino's doing well, that's all that matters. I bet she's grown into a fine woman by now. Hey, Captain? I'd like to see that. The red-haired pirates began to discuss their fond memories of Windmill Village amongst themselves. So Ace continued. Anyway, my little brother says you saved his life, and all he does is talk about you. So I wanted to meet you and give you my thanks. Brother? His name's Luffy. Everyone gave him a look that said, why didn't you tell us that first? You're Luffy's... So he had a brother? Welcome. Come on, sit down and tell me how he's doing. Shanks clapped Ace on the shoulder and beckoned him to join the circle around the fire. Time to party. Should we do a section 3? I mean, chapter don't drop till 11 o'clock. Let's see what we got. As the saying goes, a night's lodging and a meal are of fate. Okay, let's run that back. Run that back, Turbo. All right. As the saying goes, a night's lodging and a meal are a favor to be owed. Once they observed the customary greeting, the underworld way of things was to welcome in a traveler with no place to stay. Come on, all of you, don't be shy. We're having a party here. Oh, you've got a cat? Go on, Kotatsu. Show them your party trick. Jump through the fiery hoop. Grr, meow. 2 pirate crews met up in the cave on a winter island and carried on like old friends. At first, the Spade Pirates were intimidated by the presence of one of the 4 emperors, but once the booze started flowing, they loosened up and turned lively. So Luffy got left with a bunch of bandits, huh? Said Shanks, taking a swig taking a swig of his gift of grog and reminiscing about years past. I'm sorry, I don't know why I did that. Old Garp said it was going to shape him up so he could join the Navy, Ace explained. Luffy had been a snot-nosed little kid dropped on the doorstep of the Don the Bandit on Mount Corvo one day. At that point, he already had the gum fruit powers that made him able to turn to rubber. And he still had that straw hat? Yes, it was more important to him than his own life. How can something be more important than your own life? He said it was because he made a promise to you about it. He was keeping that straw hat for you and would bring it back to you one day, once he was king of the pirates. I don't like that. Because we know it to be when Luffy becomes a great pirate, he's going to give Shanks the hat. It's not when he's king of the pirates. All right? Because that's fall. We ain't got time for that. We got to meet up in Elbaf, all right? After Wano, we going to meet up in Elbaf, big dog. You can't have that. Oh, man. Thirsty. Yeah, working. All right, so. Once he was king of the pirates. They were talking about Ace's little brother, Luffy, a boy who befriended the redhead pirates in the village where they once stayed. According to the story, Shanks lost his arm in the act of saving Luffy when he fell into the sea. So Luffy's the grandson of Garp the hero? Whether he'd been aware of the fact or not, Shanks was bound to have an antagonistic history with the Navy Vice Admiral. Before the great era of piracy began, the counteracting power against pirates like Roger were mighty Navy officers like Sengoku the Buddha, currently the Navy's Fleet Admiral, and Vice Admiral Garp. We brothers made a pact. We swore to go to sea when we turned 17. And how old are you, Ace? Shanks asked. Ace told him, and the pirate began to count on his fingers. That would make Luffy, he's 3 years younger than me, so he'll be leaving soon. He'll catch up to me in no time. That'd be nice, said Shanks, giving Ace a gentle smile. You mentioned Rogue Town. Did you see it when you were there? See what? The execution stand. The place the king of the pirates died. The place where the age of piracy began. It's yours if you can find it. I left everything in the world there. The great age of piracy, the great quest for the One Piece, began there with the final words of Gold Roger before his execution. And a young Shanks was there in a corner of the town square in which the execution stand was built. Oh, I saw it, of course. It's a tourist spot. But unlike Luffy, I don't have any interest in the King of Pirates, Ace said. He wasn't going to reveal the truth about his father here. Then why do you go to Seaport, is the Ace? Asked the first mate, Ben Beckman, who was nursing his drink sip by sip. They call Ben Beckman a bitch. They just said Ben Beckman be out here sipping. He don't even finish the shot for real. You heard? He just be like, what's up? Whose man's is this? He could get right, but he can't drink. He can't hold his liquor. Don't let that boy meet up with Kaido, you heard me? Kaido and Zoro. Look, when it comes to first mates, Zoro, Rayleigh, you feel me? They got it, top notch. They be necking it. But Ben Beckman, I don't know. Okay, wait, where were we? I just got gassed up. Nursing his drink. Okay, bingo. I knew I would set sail at the age of 17, he replied. Beyond that, I don't know. Maybe I was hoping to figure it out while I was at sea. Oh, but there is one thing I knew I was going to do for sure, and that is, I'm going to make sure my name is heard around the world. Shanks did not miss the flicker of a dark flame deep inside Ace's eyes as he said those words. Wealth, power, and fame, huh? To you and the rest of the world, Gold Roger might have been a legendary figure, but to me, he's just a dead man. He'd already been executed by the time I was born. That was why he didn't care about That was the. Let's run that back. Run this back, Turbo. That was why he didn't care about the man's title. If not as the pirate king, is not as king of the pirates, then how do you plan to make yourself known? Shanks asked. The emperors, Ace said. First I toppled the 4 emperors. On that note, I gotta hit this Bleezy cause I don't even know what to say. Like, hold up. Let me just Nah, he wildin'. He out of pocket. This boy wild. He said he looked Shanks dead in the face and said, listen, the man that you idolized, yeah, he ain't shit but some dead nigga. Like he ain't nothing but some dead, useless dude. Like, yeah, he got executed, so what? Oh well. I know that was your captain, but so what? Like what? You look red-haired Shanks in his eye and said that, yeah, you more gangster than I thought. I'm not even gonna lie to you. You way more gangster than I thought. Because never would I have ever thought somebody would have the audacity to do that in their life. And lo and behold, Porkins the Ace, son of Gold Roger, says, hey, red-haired Shanks, your captain wasn't shit. He wasn't nobody special. He was just some dead fuck. Like, wow. Alright, we're just gonna go past that. I'm sorry. It's just a little difficult too because not only did you say your captain wasn't nothing, but you also said, I'm gonna defeat you and everyone of your caliber. What? To his face, nonetheless. Man, have you no respect? Have you none whatsoever? At all? Do you not respect your jaw? Like, what? Are you legitimately serious right now? We talking about somebody who is literally one of the driving forces behind keeping the balance of power active in the world. And you're saying you're going to topple... You're not a main character, bro. This is a light novel. Not even from your perspective. It's like they just started following you like a couple months ago, bro. Like, relax. You're like chill out, yo. Like, this is Mass Deuce story, technically. You're not even the main character here. Oh my God. That almost took me out, yo. Woo. Okay, let's run that back. Yo, this guy is wild disrespectful though. Like, never have I ever heard something like that. Ace is like, all right, like you next level disrespectful. Cool. I really hope at least like Ben Beckman tries to pop on him or something. Like just to like put him in his place. Like, yo, listen, you're mad, arrogant, and haughty, bro. Like, seriously. All right, we put that out. Let's get back to it. The emperors, Ace said. First I toppled the 4 emperors. A discordant air settled over the celebration. Shanks chuckled. That eased the troublesome tension, nipping it in the bud. Oh, I didn't mean it in the sense that I'd come to take you out. You've shown me warm hospitality here, and you saved my brother's life. Glad to hear I'm off the hook. But Roger was my captain once. Did you know that? I figured that all the young folks these days wanted to be like the king of the pirates. I guess that's not necessarily the case. I tell you, it sucks to get old. Hearing Shanks talk like that. Times royal and change. Just as Roger's generation had given ways to Shanks' generation. Someday these rookies would have their day, the same way that the waves and time itself flowed ever onward. Sorry, I guess I made things kind of awkward for the party. Well, if you don't mind indulging my curiosity, which of the 4 emperors are you going after? Kaido, Big Mom? It wouldn't be Whitebeard. Red hair and his man stopped and stared at Ace. Hey, he think he's gonna take down Whitebeard. Whitebeard, the pirate who's more fearsome than a demon. I'd die 100 times rather than attempt a stunt like that. He said he died 100 times. I don't know if he could count. I don't know, bro. Cause like you said 100 times over one stunt. I'll take the stunt. I'll take the stunt. You talk. I might not even die in the stunt. I'm guaranteed 100 deaths. You probably didn't think that all the way through in that scenario. You just talking right now. You just talking. Oh man, this was in no way worth the trouble it would precipitate. Parents everywhere invoked Whitebeard to scare their children into behaving. His name was synonymous with a natural disaster like a storm, earthquake, or a tsunami. Shanks told the young man, "A long time ago, there were the 7 warlords, and such who tried to topple Whitebeard. But I thought all those fools were gone now. Why Whitebeard? Well, who else was Gold Roger's rival but Whitebeard? Plus, Whitebeard's flag flew over Fishman Island. As I came into the New World, he was one of the first to stand in my way." Wait, you mean I put my own flag over Fishman Island, he said, a fire now glowing in his palm. "You burned it?" "I suppose so." Shanks was silent, but the smile never left his face. "Well, I suppose it's not my business to interfere with that." It was a 4-way standoff. Each of the 4 emperors had such great power that it was nearly impossible for any one of them to destroy the others. If any of them actually won such a war, the victor would come at a very high price and leave them vulnerable to the remaining emperors. The world was a big place, but it wasn't quite big enough to contain the endless greed, power, and rivalry of mankind. I'm relieved to hear that. So if I take out Whitebeard, you wouldn't consider it an act of aggression against you, Ace said boldly. It was a bit of a test. Whitebeard was the senior of the 4 emperors, so based on Ace's way of saying it, Shanks would have taken this as an insult against himself. Was it right for me to have been born? That was the question Ace asked himself from the first moment he could think independently. He was born the son of Roger, king of the pirates. From the time of his birth, his father was considered the worst criminal in recorded history. His mother had died, he was left with bandits, and he lived like a scavenger, picking through heaps of trash. He would never tell anyone about that in order to win their sympathy. That was why Ace did not reveal that he was Roger's son, and did not ask the Pirate King's former subordinate Shanks for protection based on that connection. What reasons did he have to keep living? The only ones Ace ever opened his heart to justify his survival were his foster brothers back on Mount Corvo before he went out to sea. The boys he shared ritual cups with, Sabo and Luffy. Sabo went out to sea a bit earlier than Ace did. Unfortunately, he perished. The victim of a cruel and unfair world, his boat was sunk for the so-called crime of passing in front of a celestial dragon ship. The celestial dragons were the world's nobles, the most privileged class of society. They lived in the sacred capital city of Marijois, where they looked down upon the lower classes and owned many slaves. Even the higher-up heads of the military and government and some monarchs essentially lived under the brutal thumb of the celestial dragons. What did Ace think when he lost Sabo? He had many thoughts about this, but he kept them he kept them confined to the moment they occurred to him, and did not go back to dwell on them. The enemy that killed Sabo is the opposite of freedom. It was the world that killed Sabo. You can't really live or die unless you're executed and change history with your death, like Roger did. So Ace chose to be a pirate. Whether or not the world accepts me or hates me, I'll be a great pirate. I'll show them all. That was the genesis of Ace's desire to be a pirate. It's him at his core, always trying to mean something. That is who he is at his very core. Trying to leave a legacy, trying to mean something to someone, because he know Roger meant nothing to him. That's a little sad, I'm not gonna lie. It's a little sad. He'd never met his father and felt nothing but hatred towards him. Ace grew up tormented about being the son of a criminal, and in the end, the only way for him to move forward was to live freely, to go beyond what his father did. Just said that. He wouldn't be Ace, son of Roger. From that moment, it would be Roger, father of Ace. I like that. That's cool. That's cool. That was what he needed to turn the tables. And it wouldn't happen if he just did the same thing as Roger did. It wouldn't just be about the One Piece and being king of the pirates. It could be anything. Anything to become famous and make Gold Roger a name of the past. Why'd I say past? That's weird. Here in the New World, it would all be about Porcus the Ace. He was going to make sure everyone knew the name given to him by his mother, Rouge, who hid from the government and secretly gave birth to him after 20 months of gestation. Through talking with Shanks, Ace felt these vague ideas that had been floating in his heart, coalescing. Why do I have to look away to pronounce the word that right? Whatever. That had been floating in his heart, coalescing, and turning into a solid conviction. Without revealing what was on his mind, Ace told Shanks, "The entire world is my enemy. Warlords, emperors, and even celestial dragons. I'll topple them all. I'll bring low everything that now sits high and mighty, and I'll do it with this flame, with my name and my flag." To surpass the Pirate King Gold D. Roger, the starting point for Porcus the Ace would be to defeat Edward Whitebeard Newgate. Shanks held his silence, listening to him speak, but he was going to let the kid get it all out of his system. What was reflected in Red Hair's eyes? Vague, undirected dissatisfaction and frustration towards the world. An impatient, youthful tendency toward danger. These things were true of just about any rookie pirate making their name in the New World. But what was that dark ember glowing beneath his violent and attention-seeking flames? But that's enough about me. I want to hear about you now. Me? Now it was Ace who wanted to hear from Shanks. About time, bruh. Because we know Ace's story, bruh. We know it. We here to figure out what happened leading up to them moments. You feel me? That's what we here for. We here for that. Get a little wilder. Man. All right, good stuff, good stuff. Get you some wardrobe. All right, I obviously can't speak a torch today. I don't even know if I should really continue this. Here we go. Now it was Ace who wanted to hear from Shanks. Yeah, for instance, about your flag. You've got 3 scars on the skull. They stand for those, don't they? Ace said, glancing at Shanks' left eye. There were 3 long scars running from his forehead, over his eye, and down his cheek. These? Luffy's got a scar like that on his left cheek, but apparently he did that to himself, like a little idiot, thinking it would earn him a spot on your crew. But yours clearly came from battle. Who did it? Who could put a wound like that on you? Indeed, who was capable of scarring red-haired Shanks? One of the 4 emperors, most powerful pirates in the world. Shanks traced the scars with 3 fingers. These... I can't imagine who'd be terrifying enough to land a blow like that on you. Stories about red-haired Shanks in battle often involved his duels with Mihawk, the world's greatest swordsman. But this was not a typical sword wound. The 3 lines were parallel, as though they had been clawed. It happened in the East Blue, before I lost my arm. We know that. Boss, piped up one of the workers, uncertain. I said workers, I meant men. Hi. Piped up one of his men, uncertainly. It seemed it was uncommon for Shanks to talk about the scar. It was the Whitebeard pirates who put the scar on me. It was Whitebeard? No. It was just a pirate under his employ. So it was just a man, not even one of his division leaders. You're saying this just to scare me off from going after... I don't care if you think I'm lying, Shanks said. This being one of the rare times that he would test Ace's... Let's run that back, because... Bro, let's get it together, right? Let's get it together. I don't care if you think I'm lying, Shanks said. This being one of the rare times that he would test Ace with his words. If you want to take out Whitebeard, you have to beat not just him, but everyone in his in his entire family. What's he doing now? Don't know. I haven't felt this wound itch in a while. A log in the fire popped and crumbled. The party's I don't even know why they need this word. Like, it's another way to. I know there's another way to say this word. It's like viviality, conviviality. I guess. I don't. Conviviality. I don't know. I don't know. We're just gonna brew over that. Had passed, and the evening's drink had run dry. Shanks gave a nod, and his followers began to clear the path to the cave's exit. The night was over. Ace had made his antagonism toward the Whitebeard pirates clear. Since he'd shared a customary right of welcome, Shanks wasn't going to harm the other pirate. But as one of the competing four emperors, Shanks couldn't extend any special treatment to the Spade pirates beyond what he'd already done. After he'd send a message to Whitebeard, he would write, "The pirate Porcus D. Ace, who is on his way to challenge you, has no special connection to the red-haired pirates." Yeah, hey, listen. I'll give you a heads up. Some young dummy about to be on his way to take your head off. He ain't got nothing to do with me. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh, man. Okay. That too was one of the customary ways. A clash between emperors was an event that would shake the new world to its core. The buds of conflict had to be nipped off before they could even grow. For Ace's part, he'd received the courtesy of a night and a meal with the red-haired pirates' territory so it was common courtesy to return the favor by leaving without making any trouble. But this meant that venturing next into Whitebeard's stretch of sea could lead to a rain of blood. Glad you know now. The piece of Spadil departed the Winter Island. From the moment he approached the shore, I could sense his hockey. It was like flame itself. No wonder he could melt a Winter Island snow. Would have been a blizzard if not for him, said Ben Beckman, pulling up the collar of his coat. What did you see in him? Said Shanks, seeing the wisdom of his first mate. Say he beats Whitebeard. What does he do after that? Based on the story he's telling, I can't envision it, said Ben Beckman. The entire world was his enemy. He could destroy the world order that kept the celestial dragons on top, and that meant destroying the four emperors too. That was all part of Ace's grand vision. Didn't seem very pirate-like. He was awful courteous at first, but then he starts going on and on about himself. The kid's more naive than he looks. Like he's not really a pirate, but a gladiator. If he wants to destroy the world that bad, why didn't he join the revolutionaries? No interest in the king of the pirates or adventure. No intention to hunt pirates as one of the 7 warlords. No desire to be a naval hero, protecting the common people. If anything, the most appropriate place for him seemed to be with the Revolutionary Army, that so-called group of terrorists seeking to overthrow the world government. I think this is the section that Brago had talked about on his page, Brago D. Ace. I don't know if you guys follow him, but I think he put this section up because I remember he was talking about Ben Beckman's thoughts, and I always wondered where he got that from. Bingo. Probably should have paid attention more in the video. I'll be high. Okay. He's limiting his choices all by himself. The way he's acting, the best he'll ever be is the captain of a single ship. Ben Beckman didn't see any potential beyond that in the young man named Ace. If he had logs, he could start a fire, but a fire wouldn't keep burning with just that. If he started a fire somewhere, set a mountain ablaze, and burned everything down in sight, the fire would eventually burn itself out. What was Ace going to do beyond that? He said he was from the South Blue, Bateria. Shanks ruminated on the name of that island. You curious about him? Shanks sat in silence. He's a rookie who turned down the 7 warlords, so I expected a lot. But he seemed like your average kid with an inflated opinion of himself. He ate a logia fruit, and now he thinks he's invincible, said Ben Beckman with a sigh. But that rookie got recommended for the seven warlords. That meant the world government, Sengoku, and the five elders saw something in Ace. That's what bothers me. Does that make him warlord material or not? With a Logia fruit alone, you'd only max out in the 100 million range. And the bounty currently sitting on Porky's the Ace's head is Ace's bounty had soared in value after he spurned the five elders offer to join that elite Kadir of privateers. It indicated that he was dangerous, but this was simply too much. There must be some other circumstance. What was that why the world government was trying to lock Ace down into just the warlord title? He'd already been executed when I was born. What? For playing like he didn't care, he sure thought a lot about Captain Roger. He even called him Gold D Roger at the end. That was the rare thing from a young person nowadays. A faint smile played over Shanks's lips. This was different from the silent grin he always wore. Ben Beckman felt like it had been ages since he saw his captain smile with an emotion like this. I think Shanks put it together. I think he put it together. I'm just not sure. Cause like, if you think about it, that ends chapter 2, by the way. We're on chapter 3 now. I think we'll call it a day because the chapter dropped. Oh my God, I didn't even realize it. But wait, we gonna talk about everything at once at the end. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about everything at the end. My fault. Twitter. 2 seconds. Oh, Fiji like my tweet. Gang. Follow Fiji. Cool. We're gonna talk about this. Bear with me. This ends the novel portion. Let's go check out this One Piece chapter. Unfortunately, I was looking for spoilers this week actually, because it was just so long. Oh, it's still not even out yet. All right, cool. So we got some time. So first things first. Oh yeah, I probably never showed this on stream or nothing, but like, I got the Strides logo tatted. Like, yeah, there you go. You can see it. Boom. Oh, excuse me. So Shanks realizing that Ace called him Gold D Roger. That's important because, as much as you know, in the story, we're not made aware that his name is Gold D until Kureha, if I'm not mistaken. Until Kureha, that's when we're introduced to the whole Will of D aspect. And it kind of, I don't know, I want to say it's like it's a great callback to something like that, because it's like nobody, like, if you're not paying attention, you're not going to realize it. You get me? You have to be consciously aware of the fact that nobody knows his name is Goldie Roger. Everybody thinks his name is Gold Roger because of the fact that the world government made sure Morgans and them put his shit as Gold Roger. They were not trying to get the Will of D information out there, not trying to let it be known that a person with the Will of D was the one to circumnavigate the globe. It's a big issue with them. Hence why this is so interesting, because it's like, using that information alone, Shanks realized this guy knows more than he's letting on, because obviously everybody thinks his name is Gold Roger. I'm one of the few who knew him as Gold D Roger. It's like, it's that was amazing. That was amazing. Also, Ben Beckman, great analysis on Ace. He got it down packed. I'm not even gonna lie to you. He got the boy figured out. Straight like that. Can't even hold you. It's a little sad, because it's like, how predictable really were you, Ace? Like, Granted, everybody has their own little tendencies, but it's like Ben Beckman ID'd you and damn sure did it right. Like, had it not been for Ace joining the Whitebeard Pirates, I think he might have. I think his life might have went the same way. Just probably still would have got executed. Probably just wouldn't have everybody else wilding to help save him. Just Luffy. It wouldn't. Yeah, I don't think it would have been as what it was. Yeah, can't lie. But that's it. All right, guys. Have a good one. See you later for the chapter. Hopefully. Yes.